stand on the edge of a cliff. Below, thousands of Saladin's warriors. At your back, your knights. In your hands, a sword that has no equal. You are more than just a king. You are a legend, feared even by your enemies. But today, everything will change. Today, you will be betrayed by your own. You open your eyes, and the first thing you see is not your father. The first thing you see is your mother, Eleanor of Aquitaine, the most dangerous woman in Europe. She looks at you as if she already knows what you will become, as if she has already sculpted you from will and blood. You are born on September 8, 1157, in Oxford, the third son of King Henry II of England. Logically, a nobody. Not the heir, not the first. Just another prince who will be given land and told to keep silent. But your mother is not one to raise silent sons. Eleanor takes you with her to Aquitaine, to the south of France, to a world of troubadours, tournaments, wine, and poetry. While your brothers are learning to be English princes, obedient, cold, calculating, you are learning to be something else. You are learning to be free. At 5, you are already sitting in the saddle. At 7, you hold a wooden sword so that the horses shy away. At 10, you understand Occitan better than English. And Aquitaine is your true homeland. New London with its fog and gray walls. This sun-drenched south with the scent of lavender and horse sweat. But there is no peace at home. Your father, Henry II, is a great king and a terrible father. He loves power more than children. He promises and does not keep. He humiliates your mother in front of the court and ultimately imprisons her in the castle for 16 years. 16 years. Because she dared to be stronger than him. You remember this. You will never forget. It's on that day, when the guards take Eleanor away, that something in you hardens forever. You understand that the world is divided into those who lock and those who break locks, and you already know who you will be. You're 15 years old, and you're already raising a sword against your father. This is not a metaphor, it's literal. In 1173, you lead a rebellion with your brothers against Henry II. The reason? He promised you retaliation and lied again. He plays with his sons like pawns on a board, and you decide, enough. The French King Louis VI happily supports you. It benefits him to weaken the Plantagenets. The rebellion spreads across half of England and France. Your troops hold the south. For the first time, you command a real army, and surprisingly, you succeed. The knights look at you differently than they do the other princes. You don't shout from your back. You ride in the front ranks. You know how to call every soldier by name. You sense the battle like a musician senses the rhythm. But the rebellion is losing. Henry is more experienced. He breaks you one by one. Your brothers surrender and crawl to their father on their knees. Beg for forgiveness. Swear allegiance. But you are the only one who does not kneel. You stand before your father, look him straight in the eyes, and only then bow your head. Not out of fear, but out of calculation. Henry forgives everyone, because what else could he do? Kill his own sons? But he does not forget, and you do not forget. The two of you are now like two wolves in the same cage, until the time comes. You are given Aquitaine, finally. But ruling it means fighting every day. The local barons have become accustomed to freedom, and you begin to understand. Real power is not a crown. It is the ability to make people fear you enough that they respect you. And Aquitaine is burning, and you extinguish it with a sword. The next 10 years are non-stop war. Rebellion after rebellion, baron after baron, castle after castle. You take the Viscount of Limor. You storm Tyleburg, a fortress thought impregnable. You do it in 2 days. 2 days, and the garrison raises the white flag. Rumors of you spread across Europe. They say you sleep in your armor. They say you personally lead the first attack. They say your soldiers follow you anywhere, because they know you won't send them where you wouldn't go yourself. But there is a dark side. You are cruel, sometimes merciless. A castle that resists for long can expect harsh treatment after surrendering. You are no executioner, but you know that fear works, and you use it as a tool. In 1183, your older brother, Henry the Young, dies during yet another rebellion. Suddenly, you become heir to the English throne. Everything changes. Your father begins to press harder. He wants you to give the quittance to your younger brother John, the same John who will later be called landless. You refuse directly, without excuse. The quittance is yours. You won it with sweat and blood. This is not land on a map, it is a part of you. And again, war with your father. But this time, there is something new. The new French king, Philip II Augustus, offers an alliance. And you agree, because sometimes an enemy's enemy is more important than honor. Your father dies, and the last thing he knows is your betrayal. 1189. Henry II is ill. The war with France and with you has exhausted him completely. He loses battle after battle. His lands are crumbling like wet paper. His own heroes are going over to the enemy. You fight at Philip's side. You are a son fighting against a father. Europe is shocked. The church condemns, but you move forward, because there is no other way. In July 1189, Henry II agrees to the peace terms. He is broken. He is asked to produce a list of the knights who have defected to Richard. A servant reads aloud. The first name on the list is John, his beloved youngest son, the one for whom he has betrayed you again and again. They say this is what kills Henry. Not illness, not defeat, John's betrayal. 2 days later, your father dies in Chinon Castle. You come to say goodbye. You look at his body. What you feel, no one knows. Chroniclers write different things. Some say you wept, others that you stood silently for a few minutes and left. You are 32 years old, you are the King of England, Duke of Normandy, Count of Anjou, ruler of half of France. Jerusalem has fallen. Saladin has taken the holy city, and all of Christendom cries out, "Who will save the Holy Sepulchre?" You hear this cry and you think, you are selling half of England to pay for the war for Jerusalem. This is not an exaggeration. You are literally selling off positions, lands, titles. I would sell London if I found a buyer, you say with a grin. Your advisors are horrified. But money is needed. A crusade is not a chivalric romance. It is logistics. It is ships, horses, food, weapons. The wages of tens of thousands of men. July 1190. You set out. With you is an army the likes of which Europe has never seen. 20,000 crusaders. In theory, you are allies with Philip. In practice, two proud roosters in the same henhouse. Along the way, you take Sicily, then Cyprus. The Cypriot ruler Isaac Camden was careless enough to insult the people from your fleet. You land, defeat his army in a week, and annex the island to your dominions. June 1191. You are standing beneath the walls of Acre. The city has been under siege for a year. Your allies stand their ground and cannot take it. A week after your arrival, the Acre resounds. You feel the air change. The soldiers look at you differently. You are the one who makes the impossible possible. But then comes the massacre at Eleanor. You execute nearly 3,000 prisoners. History will judge you for it. You did it out of calculation. You should not have dragged them along on the campaign. But this calculation will haunt your memory for centuries. You march on Jerusalem. Your army, parched by the sun, hungry, sick, moves forward. And Saladin cannot stop you. He tries again and again. You win at Arsuf. You defeat Uyaf. You are the best commander of this war, perhaps of this century. He sends you ice and peaches when you are sick. You are his worst enemy.
And yet he does it anyway. Saladin is your antithesis. Where you are a storm, he is calm. Where you are a sword, he is a chessboard. He is 53, you are 33. He conquered Jerusalem with cunning and patience. You want to reclaim it with force and speed. You have never met in person, but you correspond. It is incredible. Two generals of warring armies, exchanging letters almost like colleagues. You propose a crazy plan to give Jerusalem under joint rule and marry your sister to his brother. Saladin responds politely and refuses. When you fall ill, and in the Holy Land everyone falls ill, the heat killing the Crusaders as badly as arrows, Saladin sends a messenger with fruit and ice from the mountain snows. This is not weakness on his part, it is a message. I see you, I respect you, and I still will not let you into Jerusalem. You reach the hills from which the towers of the holy city are visible. Twice. For the first time, you cover your eyes with a shield so as not to see the city you cannot take. This gesture will go down in history. It contains everything, both greatness and tragedy. You understand that Jerusalem can be taken by storm, but cannot be held. You have no men, no supplies. Philip has already left for home, having betrayed you at the most crucial moment. Your barons are tired. Your army is melting. You make peace with Saladin. Under the terms, Christian pilgrims are given access to the holy places. This is not a victory, this is not a defeat, it is something else. You return to the ship and look back. Once at the hills of Judea. You sail home. News awaits you at home. Each one is worse than the last. Brother John is seizing power. Philip of France is squeezing your lands. But you need to get home, and the sea is no friend. A storm throws your ship to the shores of the Adriatic. You are forced to travel through Austria, the domain of Duke Leopold. That same Leopold whom you publicly insulted under the Acre tore his banner from the wall of the conquered city. Do you remember that moment? Remember how you laughed? Now it's not funny. You try to pass incognito, disguise yourself, call yourself a merchant. But you, Richard Plantagenet, 6 feet tall, red beard, scars from a dozen battles. You are recognized in a tavern near Vienna. You are arrested. Leopold hands you over to Emperor Henry VI. The bargaining begins. He demands 150,000 silver marks for you, an incredible sum. 2 years of England's income. Your mother, Eleanor, already over 70, begins collecting the ransom. She taxes everyone, clergy, knights, peasants. Each pays a quarter of their annual income for you. And you sit in Trifle's castle on the cliff above the drain. What are you doing in captivity? You write poetry in Naxit and French? 14 months, then the money is saved. You emerge into the world, your mother meets you in Antwerp. You look at her, aged but unbroken. And something within you finally thaws. You return, and John literally falls to his knees. March 1914. You are in England for the first time in 5 years. The country barely knows you, but they fear and love you. You are greeted with the ringing of bells and cries of, "John is hiding. He has been plotting the entire time you were away." He made an alliance with Philip. He tried to negotiate with the German emperor to keep you captive longer. Your own brother, flesh and blood. When John finally appears before you, he trembles, falls to his knees, awaits execution or exile, and you say, "Do not be afraid, John. You are a child and have fallen into bad company. Those who gave you such advice will pay for it. This is not weakness, this is policy. John is your only living brother. Kill him, make him a martyr, forgive him, bind him to yourself forever. You are already thinking like a sovereign, but England does not hold you. In just 2 months, you are back in France. The war with Philip is the main matter of the rest of your life. You build Chateau Gaillard on a cliff above the Seine, an impregnable fortress that you call your beautiful daughter. You fight, you conquer. You take castle after castle, you are again the warrior you always were. Not a king sitting in Westminster and signing papers. A king on a horse covered in dust and blood. Chateau de Chalouchebrol in a limousine. A small, insignificant castle. You besiege it personally. You ride around the walls on horseback, looking at the fortifications without chainmail, just in a shield and helmet. The day is drawing to an end. On the wall stands a man, Pierre Basile the crossbowman. In one hand a crossbow, in the other a frying pan. He literally has no shield, and he uses kitchen utensils. You notice him and laugh. You applaud him for his resourcefulness. He fires. The bolt enters your left shoulder at the base of your neck. The wound is not fatal. You pull out the shaft yourself. but the tip remains. The surgeon tries to extract it in the dark with poor quality instruments. Clumsily, gangrene sets in. Do you understand this? You are a soldier. Have you seen such wounds? You know the smell of incipient gangrene. You call for your mother. Eleanor rides across France. She is 77 years old, but she rides. You call for John, negotiate the transfer of power. You are still king, even dying. The crossbowman Pierre is captured and brought to you. They await the order for execution. You look at him, young, frightened. He says that you killed his father and brothers, that you are taking revenge. You are silent for a second, then say, let him go, give him money, and let him go. This is your last order. A few days after your death, your Captain Mercadier will execute Pierre anyway. But you will no longer know this. You die on April 6, 1199. You are 41 years old. Your heart is buried separately from your body, and rightly so. According to your will, you are buried in 3 places. Fontouve's body next to your father, your entrails in a charrue, and your heart in Rouen. Perhaps you wanted to say something with this? Perhaps that you never truly belonged to any one place. Occupation, England, Normandy, everyone and no one. What happens next? John takes the throne. The same John you forgave. He loses Normandy, Anjou, almost everything you conquered. He signs the Magna Carta, a great document, but born of his weakness, not his strength. Chateauguard, your beautiful daughter, is besieged by Philip 5 years after your death. But something remains. The name Richard of Cochdelian remains, the Lionheart. This nickname is not given to you by chroniclers or poets. It is given to you by your enemies. Saladin, who never let you into Jerusalem, speaks of you with respect. For Muslim chroniclers, you are Malikrik, a worthy adversary. Centuries pass, and Walter, Scott, Shakespeare, and Kipling write about you. You are depicted in operas, novels, and films. Your statue stands outside the British Parliament, a strange honor for a man who barely lived in England. You were imperfect. You were cruel. You abandoned your country for war? You spent a fortune on a campaign that failed to bring Jerusalem. But there was no lie in you. You never pretended to be anyone else. And perhaps that is why people remember you 800 years later. Not for your victories, not for your titles, but for the fact that you lived as you wanted, burning, and not burning until your very last arrow.